Well, everyone is out there watching what's happening in the Brazil elections, Iranian threats, and of course Elon Musk firing a bunch of pink-haired clowns. The USDA quietly just executed another 1.1 million chickens and of course all of their eggs. We're going to get into what's going on with the chicken market, what's going on with the egg market, and we got a lot to cover. This video is sponsored by Genesis Gold Group, and you can talk to them about protecting your 401k and IRA. Down in the description down below you can find them, and if you mention this channel they will not have any setup fees for you. Give them a chat, they're good people. Alright, so egg prices have doubled since 2020. Doubled. Yeah, I know. You look at the store shelves and you see how few eggs there are, and you see that there are problems, at least here in the United States. And we're seeing that the bird flu, which is really, in a lot of cases, probably just PCR tests giving back false negatives. And of course, this becomes a chain reaction. One major farm in an area has a false positive PCR test or possibly correct diagnosis of bird flu, and then they start testing all of the farms nearby and they start getting false positives at those places too. You say, Steve, farmers aren't that insane. I've talked about this before. What happens is something unusual happens, they call for a test, or for whatever reason they get a test done. About 10% of those tests do come back with false positives. They're a PCR test. And when they get a false positive or a true positive, whatever it is, they start looking at the farmer and say something along these lines. You have options here. One, you can cull your entire flock and destroy all the eggs that are on premises. If you do that, we will pay you over market rate for those chickens. Or two, you can gamble with your herd. If you choose no, you will get no reimbursement whatsoever if they start dying en masse. And there's a good chance, because we just got this test back, that there's bird flu here, and that means a whole bunch of your chickens are going to start dying really fast, and you're going to lose millions and millions of dollars. What's the farmer do? Thank you, I will take your cash. Thank you, I will take your cash. And that is what farmer after farmer after farmer is doing. If they delay, the dead chickens from bird flu, they get nothing from. The ones that they cull, based on the government's telling them, they get a fistful of cash. Now, that's a tough situation to be in. If you're a farmer, you're there to make money. I know, we're all like, well, they exist so that they can provide food for everyone. And it is a noble work that they do. They provide great, important value to the world at large, for sure. But they need to feed their families. They can't gamble with the next generation's funds. They can't gamble with things when there is a way to cash out and avoid serious risk. Most farmers are going to take it. And that's what we're seeing. So in this farm over in Iowa, 1.1 million chickens on premises, egg-laying hens, they got the PCR test and got the ultimatum from the USDA. And they said, cull it all. And that's what they did. They spent the next couple days slaughtering all the chickens and destroying all the eggs. And this is not an isolated incident, right? We are now up to 49 million birds across the United States since the beginning of the year slaughtered in this fashion. The USDA is going around destroying our food system without care and, let's just say, writing some awfully big checks along the way. They're writing some awfully big checks that really you and I are paying for so that we can go to the store and pay even higher for our food. Double egg prices. Yikes. But that isn't even the worst of it. Chicken, wholesale chicken is at 3-year highs. Over $3 per pound. And this is wholesale. This isn't like retail, right? Wholesale. Over $3 a pound. That's almost triple what it was at its low point in 2020. The people that are stocking their store shelves for you with chicken are paying 3 times what they were before for that chicken. Over the last week, we've seen over 200,000 turkeys killed. I'm glad that the USDA is protecting us from Thanksgiving, because that would be pretty devastating for us to have a Thanksgiving where we could easily access turkey, gravy, cranberry sauce, and all the fixings along the way, like potatoes. Has anyone else noticed the shortage of potatoes out there? Where do they all go, right? Mashed potatoes, canned potatoes, frozen potatoes. Go into your store and look at the frozen French fry section and tell me there isn't a problem. Where are all the potatoes? We've had several bad potato harvests, and yes, that is going to ease up supposedly soon as this year's potato harvest rolls in and goes through the factories to get to our store shelves. But it's going to take a bit for them to restock all the store shelves, because at least here in the Pittsburgh area, they're awfully bare when it comes to French fries and tater tots and all the other frozen potatoes that we all like and love. We got serious food crisis happening, and the question is, what about Thanksgiving? What about Thanksgiving? Well, we got some people in Washington, D.C. working as hard as possible to make sure that anything traditional, anything sacred to the American people come under attack. Driving your car, celebrating Christmas, Thanksgiving, yeah. Being the wrong nationality, apparently. Believing in crazy things like Columbus Day and just... Listen, if you want to tell me that Columbus wasn't a great guy, yeah, I get that. I get that. But to walk your way through all of American history and just point and say bigot, racist, slave owner, evil person, mass murderer, cheated on his wife, blah, 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 and just go down the whole aisle of history and just knock everyone down as if you are some righteous person. Let's take a hard look at your life and see what you are. Because by all means, you are the epitome of the human race. You have never done anything wrong in your life. You know, of course, we're not going to talk about your support of abortion, which is genocide. Speaking of mass murder, getting back to the USDA's war on Thanksgiving and slaughtering of 49 million chickens and turkeys out there over the past number of months, this is going to have a dramatic impact on food prices. Now, it looks like, from what we're seeing, that Thanksgiving food is going to be on this year. What about the potato harvest next year? Well, we better get that potato harvest in early next year, because it looks like, from the way the potato harvest went this year, we're going to run out of potatoes before we get to next year's harvest. If you think the frozen French fry situation is bad today and the bags of potatoes out there are bad today, wait till next year. This time next year, while we're waiting for that harvest to finally roll in, we're probably not going to be seeing any potatoes on the shelves. That's what the numbers say. I'm an accountant by trade, and that's what the numbers say. We've had 2 bad harvests, and then this year, the harvest was bad again. Or rather, this year's harvest wasn't good enough to offset the 2 bad harvests before, and in fact, we went more into a potato deficit we're going to another potato deficit this year again, which means we're going to run out of potatoes even sooner this year. So if there are varieties that you want, you might want to stock them up ahead of the cold, dark summer that's coming up. Yes, it has been announced that the cold, dark winter will be extended through spring into next summer. Welcome to SHTF. Preppers, you know, you'll be vindicated publicly as everyone else starts to panic. I don't know about you, but recently going to the stores, I'm starting to see that look of panic, that look of worry over prices, over availability of things. People are asking, what is going on? I hear them talking about it in the store. I heard just this last time, I was hearing several people talking about the shortages. They didn't seem to know each other. They were talking about the shortages. And this is what we're seeing. All right, folks. I hate to say the new normal, but at least for the foreseeable future, if you are dependent upon stores and people growing your potatoes halfway across the country or in another country, or catching your fish, catching your seafood in other places, slaughtering your chickens, you know, a 10 to 15 hour drive from you, the supply chain is breaking down and you need to take steps to protect yourself, because I promise you, the government is not moving to protect you. It is moving to protect itself and to forward its crazy agendas. All right, folks, if you found this video to be useful, helpful, you might want to check out this video right here from me. Otherwise, I will see you later. Steve Poplar out.